Uh, Good night to you guys. Good evening, good morning if you're watching this back in the replay. Good afternoon. How does it for everybody here? How does it for everyone that's tuning in right now? Uh, so we got Trey and we got Alex here to join us as we go along with the second round. And there is going to be some heartbreak, I can tell already, because we're going to have to slim down our two draft picks in the second round. As of right now, we're going to slim this down into who we're going to take in the final two. Now, just to recap what happened last week, um, the consensus of everyone on the panel was saying, "Hey, Kyle Hamilton's the best player available, and if we can snatch him at 8, that's the best. That's like the dream for us. And if not, our second place winner was actually Traylon Burks. And depending on how well he does at the combine, which is going to be from March 3rd to the 6th, he could probably very easily fall up into that upper echelon of guys, if he makes himself look right. And then our third place guy went actually to Devin Lloyd, another guy that can easily be picked into the top, 10, top 15 or so, depending on how our free agency turns out for us. But
For you, Logan.
exactly, and all these people that want to try to trade Tebow away. So for the people that are here, what I'm going to do, since I see someone that was a regular from last week, don't mind me, I'm just going to pick this and put that there. So now the stream should be open for everyone to hop on. I can leave that pinned for you guys there. All right. So as I get this camera ready, I'm going to begin writing the first two names. And that first name will be David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue. And the second guy is going to be Rajai Sanders. All right, our two contestants have entered the ring, and the conversation has commenced. How are we feeling, folks?
So David Bell, for me, he actually could get taken in the first round, kind of in the later rounds, though. I mean, the later picks, so kind of like between. Who's in that? You got the Niners, Packers, Chiefs, Rams, Bengals. Yeah, he actually could go in kind of like between 26 and 32. Now, will that most likely happen? Probably not. But as far as what pops out to me, his route running, his hands, he catches basically anything that comes to him. He's a very good contested catcher. Even at 6'1", and that is kind of tall for our receivers, but you're starting to see a lot more 6'4", 6'5" receivers in the league. So not really. And what else? Underrated part about him will probably be his blocking. I love his blocking. He isn't the best wide receiver blocker, but he's suitable for it. So for that, I probably have to do that. And then what else? Yeah, that's about it. Now the downside, he isn't a very speedy receiver. To be honest, he'll probably run like a mid 4.5, most likely. So he isn't the most speedy wide receiver, but he makes up with that. Like I said, with his athleticism, his hands, route running, and his blocking. For Myers Sanders, though, for me, it all depends on if we actually do end up taking Hamilton in the first. Do they address the edge rush need right there? Now we do have, like you said, we do have 2 second-round picks, so it may end up working out. But uh, like for Maja, for me, it's his. He's a very speedy rusher. He's not really a 3-4 guy, so that may be a thing too if they're trying to get some scheme fits in there instead of just based on talent. He's more of a 4-3 type guy because he's not really a big guy that you can move around. He's more kind of like that speedy, a little bigger than Big Beasley, but kind of comparable to Big Beasley. Um, he can drop in coverage in sometimes, but not really the best at it. And he's good again. I wouldn't say he's good against the run. He makes plays in the run, but that's an area he's gonna have to get better in. But really, every edge rusher in this class is gonna have to get better in that. So, for me, it probably have to be a wait for right now. But if we have to choose one, I'd probably say, um, David Bell.
Now we don't have to go eliminating just yet.
That is
If you
true.
want to, if you want to keep some players on the board until a little bit later, that is still a possibility. Just so you know, for the people watching us, you can hop on. I put the link in the chat. So
It would help.
for Super Cancer 85, to answer a Royal Rumble question from last week, Shawn Michaels won the Royal Rumble from entry number 1 in 1995. I do remember that one. But I think we were talking about entry number 3. He also brought up Chris Benoit and Edge. Really? Edge? Wow. Didn't remember him being the number 1 entrant.
Me neither.
Because I think it was Rey Mysterio in 2006. That was the number 2.
Why is it
Maybe.
going through the... Hold on.
All right. I think we got a full cast of characters now up on here. As we do that...
What's going on, Vlad?
If I can make that stable enough, I'm going to add the third name here. Let's see what they do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to write the first name. Zion Johnson, a guard from Boston College.
No.
I mean, like him as a player, I have nothing against him as a player, or at least nothing major in my opinion. Like I think he fits his value. But me personally, if we're taking Kyle Hamilton, and if we're really like keen on fixing that guard position, which in my personal opinion, I'd like to give Gissett another shot at guard, but that's just me. I think that Zion Johnson is a good player who uses his hands relatively well, even with his disability. I think his arms are short, if I'm not mistaken, so he has to like kind of find some workarounds. I mean, not disability, but like shortcoming. So I think he does well with what he's got, and he's not a perfect prospect, but I think he's really, really good, and I think he's almost there to mastering all of his technique.
For me, to be honest, I probably do think we end up giving Mayfield another shot at it. Probably getting like a veteran center to help out. But Zion, like Alex said, I don't have really anything against him as a player. It's just the players we have on the team right now, the scheme fit, and some of his intangibles are kind of something that's a little worse than Mayfield, even though he didn't even play guard at all. But he's a very he can move guys. I think his pass protection needs help. Not as much as some guys in the draft, but his pass protection does need help. But if we were to draft him, that probably means that we either we didn't give Mayfield a second chance, and now he's binge riding. He's deaf, or we traded McGarry, put him at right tackle. I mean, put Mayfield at right tackle and drafted him. That's really the only way I can see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of under some umbrella. Like I could see us bringing in a veteran center, but as far as Zion goes, like since Mayfield was just drafted last year, and the massive change in position, I think that all kind of works against if we do take a lineman, I think it's probably going to be an defensive or not defensive tackle, but offensive tackle to kind of give a McGarry kind of like some heat underneath his feet, like finally see what he's about. But as far as guard goes, no, I think they're going to roll with what they have currently, and yeah, at least at left guard.
Yeah. Same for me.
All right. So, do we feel okay with him still being up on here, or?
For me, I probably have to take him down, just because I feel like we're pretty. I feel like we're not set at the position, but I feel like we're probably going to end up signing people in free agency, and we're kind of already have a young project at that position. So why would we, make Mayfield go through all of that pressure for 1 year and then switch him back to his old position just so he can struggle at that spot for a second year? So I probably think we just end up keeping him there. And
yeah, I'm under the same umbrella. Like I kind of look at it like if you take Mayfield away from left guard and try to put him back at right tackle, you pretty much just took his rookie year and was just like, okay, that just kind of means nothing. You're just basically resetting him to learn another position in the NFL. So I definitely see Zion. Definitely, I don't see Zion being taken honestly at any point for the Falcons.
For me,
all right, Alex, you propose?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know Zion can play offensive tackle, but I don't really want to see either of them play or try to give McGarry a run for his money in offensive tackle, because McGarry has went through literally the ring of fire when it comes to like pass rushers. And with all due respect to all of our tackles beneath McGarry, none of them are gonna do, with all due respect, as well as McGarry has with these guys that he's facing. So I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you'd be taking a big step back from Gary.
it basically just be putting that 2018 line back on Ryan. And this one was nearly as worse as that one, but instead of having just interior pressure most of the time, you have outside and interior pressure, so where it's basically just nearly impossible to run any plays.
Well, I think with that we can say Zion made a
See ya.
made a very quick appearance, but time to move on to the next guy. That's number 4. Kyer Elam.
Okay. Y'all want to go first, or?
I'll go first. Because this sort of stuff hits home to me because for those that don't know, I'm actually I'm in high school and I'm planning on trying out for my football team next year for wide receiver and corner. So
nice.
The DB position and wide receiver position are things that I know really well when it comes to like the technical aspects of it, aka route running and hand placement, yada yada yada. So Kyer Elam, I think, is decent, at least when it comes to like, I mean, his technique is decent in my opinion, but I don't think it's better than some other corners that I have in my personal board. I don't think he's a bad prospect. I wouldn't necessarily have him this high, but I don't think he'd be bad. I don't know. I think he'd kind of give like a little bit better than Fabian Moreau's results, but not anything that would knock your socks off.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, agree on that. I mean, he looks like a guy that if he's like in the fourth round, they're looking to target somebody, maybe, but definitely not in the second.
For me, to be honest, I don't really think he makes it to the fourth round, just because he didn't have the best year this year, but he didn't have a quote unquote bad year. It was just a couple of slip ups. Now, of course, some of those slip ups were major slip ups, kind of end zone and him missing a jam and getting beat down deep. And as fast as he is, I don't really think that should be happening a lot. But if we're talking about, because this right here would be the first pick. If we're talking about 43rd pick, no way I'm taking him right there, because you still have guys like McSeary and most likely other guys available. So not to say he's bad, because he's a very good corner. He's my number. He'd probably be ranked on my number 5 corner. When I finish my quarterback rankings up, but 50, if he's there at 58, yeah, I'd probably take him. But 43, I couldn't do that, even if he was the best talent at that position, just because it's probably better talent at every other position that we need.
All right. Interesting that you mentioned that about him possibly being a better option at the second, with our second pick, because I didn't tell everyone about this, but there is a chance that I can take one of these players on this side of the board and move them over here. But it's only going to be like one player. And because I feel like one of these players from last week's conversation wasn't really treated all that well, I can bring back someone and add him there at the 16th slot, just in case we miss out on someone else and then they just so happen to slip, Yeah. But I'm only going to do that for guys that can legitimately fall. I'm not going to try to bring, like Traylon Burks back into this conversation, like guys that can, it's like, yeah, there's no chance they slip, so.
Yeah. Guys, because it is a lot of guys that, I mean, we see it every year. There's guys that should have went in the first round that slipped to like the second round, but most of the time those guys are taking in like 30s.
Oh yeah, I mean,
40s.
The guys that I'm thinking about, especially from like last year, was like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Tevin Jenkins. But you also got to remember, like at that point, like the people's medical report was still like being printed out, and some people, certain teams didn't know that, oh, hey, this guy has like this kind of injury right now or whatever. It's like they need to heal up, and what does that do for people's draft stock? So
Trayvon Walker,
really interesting. Yeah, all these guys are kind of like, yeah, these are guys like a top 15 guy, but then they just disappear overall. I was like, wow, was not expecting that. So I think I'm going to keep him here just so that he can be one of those players that we can vote on to have him brought over to this side. So let's bring up the next guy, which is going to be Christian Harris, linebacker from Alabama.
I'll go first on this one. For me, I think this pick only happens if we don't re-sign Foye. I think Christian Harris is a very good off the ball linebacker. I mean, he can play in the box too. I mean, that's what he's supposed to play. But he's a very good on the ball linebacker. Very physical, good in coverage, comes down on the run very well. The only really weakness I have on him is his speed, because as you see now, speed does matter at that linebacker position. You have guys like Kyle Pitts and Hurst and Mark Andrews and guys like that you're kind of just going to have speed for. That's really the only downfall on him. He's a very good tackler. very good in zone. Man coverage, you probably won't want to put him on the fastest guy, but if you're putting him on like a blocking tight end, or just a running back out the backfield, he can do that job perfectly.
Okay.
I mean, I look at Christian Harris as like I think he's like, as far as physically, this is more what Dean Pease is looking for. And as far as Flayo Lucon not being re-signed, I mean, it's a good possibility just because do the Falcons really want to tie that much money up into the linebacker position? I don't really think they do, because they do have a lot already invested in Dion. So it'll just depend on what they – honestly, I think it'll depend on what they do with Dion. Like if they trade Dion, Foye basically stays. I mean, you get like a fifth or a sixth for Dion. But essentially, you got to look at it from the point of view of if they get rid of Dion, that essentially guarantees they keep Foye, basically, because that would free up the money if they can get rid of him somehow. So it'll just really depend on him. But as far as Harris as a player goes, yeah, I think he'll be fine on like running backs and whatever to cover them. Like I said earlier, I think he's more of a physical linebacker that Dean Pease looks for at like that middle spot. I'm fairly actually a fan of him, so I wouldn't actually hate the idea too much to take him at this first second pick. Excuse me.
If you ask me, see, I didn't really watch a lot of film on Mike Jones, the guy from LSU who I thought was going to declare this year. But I watched a little bit of his tape the last year when he was at Clemson. And Christian Harris is my Mike Jones consolation prize. And that dude, Mike Jones, is probably the best man coverage linebacker in the entire draft, or possibly he probably would have gave JOK a run for his money last year too, for the best man coverage linebacker in the entire draft. So I mean, with Kyle Hamilton, if we took Kyle Hamilton, I'd see less value in taking Christian Harris. But if we were to have Christian Harris and Kyle Hamilton, in theory, no one would be able to pass the ball on us in man coverage. In theory, but that's just me.
All right. I mean, I do see the lack of appeal there. You know, like what Mucho Grundy was saying, like you can like a player, but sometimes the need isn't all that there. You know, speaking of which, Tony Wright, Jerron Wade.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, yeah, that's what probably ended up happening. Like in theory, like it sounds good, but we're pretty good right now at linebacker. Even if we don't bring back Luakon, we still have a Walker that can step in. So
yeah.
So we taking him off then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if he's available at 58, yeah, I'll take him.
I don't know if I would take him at 58, but I'd really consider it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be one of them, like, who else is there? But, yeah, that would be a really good shot if he dropped at that second spot. We would just be BP at that point.
Okay. So let me ask this then. I can only bring back one into this conversation. So between Kaiir Elam or Christian Harris, who do you want to transfer over?
Probably
Probably Christian Harris, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd probably say Harris.
Because we're probably, to be honest, if we do go Hamilton with this pick, we're probably going to try to. We're either going to try to get an edge rusher right here or a corner. It's one of those two.
So we're saying to move Christian Harris over here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, goodbye, Kaiir Elam. That was the only reason why I was keeping him around. All right. Let's move on to the next guy. I'm not sure how much of a talking point he might be considering, but I'm just going to have his last name up on here. But Nicholas Petit-Frere, tackle from Ohio State. Now, he is a left tackle, But I think he could be someone that, if you're concerned about, longevity for certain players, I don't really think you'd have to worry too much about the Matthews family, all things considering, because they have a long history of years played in the league. So Matthews could be fine in that regard, but some people out there might think that a certain tackle might be an upgrade in this draft class, and sometimes you don't blame them, but other times, well, we'll see how it goes. What do you guys think?
I'd love to talk about this first.
All right.
First, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I only watched one game of this guy, and when I was watching him, I wasn't even really watching for him. So when I first watched him, as a matter of fact, I labeled him a Jabo food. Literally, that's what I named him, because that's the only reason why I watched that game. But that's besides the point. If we were to draft him, and I'm gonna keep on comparing him to McGarry, because he's gonna be facing guys similar to that of what McGarry faced, even if it's on the opposite side. McGarry, for all the crap that he gets, he faces a lot of pretty good edge rushers because our division is filled with a lot of good edge rushers. I think he allowed somewhere around 7 or 8 sacks this season, or I think 7 sacks, considering the fact that he played 7.5. He played against Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Cam Jordan twice. I think Hassan Reddick. Who else did he play against? He played against
if not Hassan Reddick, and probably Brian Burns.
He played against Franklin Myers, who's pretty decent.
Yeah, Brian Burns normally eats his lunch.
Yeah, he played against Shaq Barrett both times and did well against those matchups. I forgot to mention that. And one of his sacks, by the way, came up against a Giants rookie. What's his name?
Azeez Ojulari.
Yeah, so we really only had 6 sacks against relatively decent competition. So I mean, that if that's me, I'm keeping him again to run it back to see what he'll do, because I promise you put another rookie tackle against those guys, they're getting more sacks.
But basically, the only reason you would really draft a tackle in this class is to have a contingency plan, because the Falcons are going to have to make a decision on McGarry after this next season, and they want to see if he's actually going to be worth that money.
Right. There are some guys that I have later down the board, ironically, they both play for Tulsa. Chris Paul and Tyler Smith, who I think will probably fall into the 3rd round, maybe late 2nd. But those guys, I think, are more of contingency plans that could give Caleb McGarry a little bit of a run for his money, or study underneath him.
I also do have to remember Terry and Arthur said no one really on the team is safe right now, so they really could end up how poor McGarry played this year. They could end up getting having a consistency plan after, or put Mayfield at tackle, but that probably won't end up happening. But if they do end up drafting the right tackle, it'd probably just tell McGarry this is it right here. There is no more shots after this, and there is no franchise tag after this. If you don't perform well, you're basically out.
Yeah, I think the sweet spot for a tackle this year would probably be the 3rd round, because I could see them going defense the first 3 picks. But yeah, if McGarry is playing for a contract, he is going to have to step it up, because tackles normally make a pretty nice penny, and I doubt Arthur Smith is going to give him a contract, or Terry Fontenot is going to give him a contract if he plays like he did last year again. So, yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, Caleb McGarry also played up against Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and Matt Judon. I forgot to mention that. My bad.
Oh yeah, they put him to the ringer, dude. This last season,
exactly.
But he's still gonna have to step his game up if he wants a contract. Is the thing.
Because the thing is, it's he can have good moments in game, or just have a good game in total. The Jacksonville game. Jacksonville, even though they're a terrible team, they have a very well pass rush, and he had a good game against that. But then
Well,
he
not just that,
goes,
but I think they were also third in run defense too.
yeah, they were third in run defense, and I think they had the 7th most sacks this season. And he did pretty well against that pass rush and against the blitz. And then the next week, he allows like 2 sacks on easy blitz stops. Like dudes were literally coming like right in front of him. Like he just let the guy go. And it's like, man, like I just see you stop this last week, but then this week you let it go right past you. So I think if he gets more consistent, we know he's not. We know what Kalen McGarry is going to be now. He's not going to be a Pro Bowl right tackle probably ever in his career. But if he can just be serviceable and consistent and not allow so many pressures or sacks or blow so many or blow a lot of run assignments, then I say keep him. Put him on a little 2-year, 3-year, $8 million contract. But if he ends up having a worse year or the same type of year like he had last year, it's just going to have to be cut ties. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him this year too and go try to find a right tackle, because this free agency class is filled with right tackles too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something I would do, but like I feel it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be like as far as free agent goes. Like, yeah, there's a lot of right tackles out there, but those are going to a lot. Even a mediocre one's going to cost you, and I don't think we'll have the cap space for it.
So speaking of right tackles, let me include another one while we're kind of on the topic of offensive line. Again, I'm just going to include his last name just to try to make the text or the size bigger. Daniel Faele, or however you say his name, from Minnesota.
I would love to talk about him because he's also food. Because he's Majai Sanders' food, basically. So great, we have two pass protectors that are literally just food for some edge rushers.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Majai
lie.
Sanders.
You go first, Alex.
Okay. Majai Sanders, and I'm not over exaggerating when I say this, embarrassed Daniel Falele in the Senior Bowl. Like embarrassed him. Like there's a clip that was going along, and it was going along in Twitter, and I don't even have Twitter. And literally, it was just constant on a repeat, and he sent him to the ground. So I think that he played like he's big, but he doesn't necessarily play as big as he is, and I don't think that fits our team at all. So
yeah,
there is something interesting about someone who doesn't even have or doesn't even use Twitter, getting clips from Twitter of just an embarrassment of a guy. Like
that's how bad it was.
Yeah. Like that's how widespread that embarrassment has gotten to. It's like people that don't even have the social media platforms can still see the failure.
And to be honest, I don't really think he wants that going around if you really think about it, because I mean, in that Senior Bowl, he was just playing terrible and blowing assignments. It was one play on I think the practice day right before the Senior Bowl. Desmond Riddler is doing kind of like a little a bootleg, and I forgot. I think it was Boye Mafe, but it was like he blew right past him, like it was no resistance or anything. And I'm like, dude, some people are projecting you to be a first-round pick, and you're getting embarrassed like that in front of
or at least a high second
scout.
here. You know?
Yeah.
With all due respect, the people that are mocking him to be a second-round pick or a high second-round pick are they must be seeing a whole different person than what I'm seeing. I think put it like that.
I think their line of thinking might be like, hey, this dude's 6'8", 380. Sometimes you just want to draft the size and then let the technique come to them eventually, because you can't teach size.
Right.
But if that's the only line of thinking, like there's a huge difference between a guy like Trent Brown, the tackle from the Patriots and Raiders, and a guy like him, where it's like, hey, you can be this big, but you also got to use it. to your advantage. And with Failele, I don't see him using it all that well, So it's like, what are you big for?
I don't want to call him Tyler Davidson, but I'm almost there. I'm literally almost there.
Oh,
to be honest, he really kind of he was really kind of overrated during the season. And most of the time most of the DNs or defenses that he played, most of those guys are third rounders and below. And not to say that some of those guys might not be successful in the NFL, but I don't want to pull the talent card, but he basically nearly played no NFL level talent in college. And now, of course, he played some like Myles Sanders, but then when he played guys like that, like Alex said, he was getting embarrassed on live TV or just in front of scouts. So I think people are going to have questions for that, like, okay, can you handle the lead guys? And if he can't handle that, well, it's bad for him because then, well, I can't trust you against a dude like Cam Jordan or Myles Garrett. Well, of course, what right tackle can you trust to guard those type of guys? But like, can you hold your ground against them for multiple plays? And if you can't, it's just, well, I don't know.
Now I'm gonna just add one more name in here because I see a clear fan. Again, I only have the space for his first name. But Federian Mathis.
Ooh, now
that from
I'm an
Alabama.
I actually, let me go first on this because I'm an Alabama fan. So Federian Mathis, before the season started, I knew he was going to come out because, well, it was if you come out. I think he was a senior too. He was going to have to go off this year, and he kind of did. Now, he didn't have the best season for D tackles, but he had a good one. And he was a great run stuffer. He got pressure, and consistent pressure too. Now it didn't always show up on the stat line, but he had pressure, and he was. What I will say is he was a very good. He's a very good people mover, and what I mean by that is he can fill up a gap. He can free up some guys like Will Anderson. I think a couple of his picks came off of Federian Mathis taking up a guy and him getting a one-on-one. So he's a people mover too. He's not really the biggest guy, but he's 6'3" or 6'4", 320. So something to look out for. But 43, no. But kind of in that later third round, I would probably take him then.
Do you think he's just graded too high, but you'd definitely consider him?
Yeah.
Well, is he worthy of a late second, you say?
Yeah, he's worthy of that. I'll give him that. He's worthy of that. But late second, early third is where he'll probably end up landing.
Okay. Would you want to consider him for this conversation instead?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, probably.
Over Christian Harris?
Probably. Because just like, if you guys think about it, D-line is a way bigger need than linebacker right now, even if we did let go of
True.
I mean, from a pure because they're around the same as far as talent wise to me. But yeah, I'd probably say the line definitely needs to be addressed as the tiebreaker.
Alex?
I mean, I think, well, I have my own player that I like. Ironically, he also goes to Alabama, who I think can fill up the defensive tackle spot, who's probably going to go undrafted if I'm being quite honest. But I think he's good, so I'll consider him.
So I'm going to remove Christian Harris then. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, it's cool with me.
All right. Well, your wish is no longer our command. Oof. Told you, man. Gotta break some hearts in order to get the right guys in order. As far as these two guys, are we kind of good to let them go? I kind of glanced over them, but take both these guys off then.
Falele, yeah, he can go. I think we all pretty much agree he's one of the most overrated guys on the team.
Yeah, he is way overrated.
All right, then.
It's okay because I fell in that trap too.
And then Petit Frere, him too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll probably be a def pick or a def signing in 2026, 2027, to be honest.
All right, let's get some names up on here. I might have to include more than one just because of how thin our board looks right now. All right, let's go with I'm going to add 3 names. Logan Hall is one of them.
Okay.
Trey McBride's one of them. And Kenneth Walker's the third.
Okay, just one question because I barely even studied on this guy. What position does Trey McBride play?
Trey McBride's a tight end.
Okay. Oh yeah. Now the name's clicking. Okay.
Tight end from Colorado State.
Okay, yeah, now I remember him. Which one do y'all want to go first? Because I think I said my piece last.
Oh, I'll go first. Actually, you know what, Vlad, if you want to go first, that's cool.
Yeah, okay. I'm a big fan of Kenneth Walker. I think he fits that ideal like Arthur Smith kind of back. And he's just a real tough runner. You know, I really like his ability to hit those tough yards. So, you know, not much more to really say.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my due diligence on the running back position so far, and I think that Kenneth Walker is kind of deserving of this look in the second round, but
Agreed.
Not for us. And I don't really mean that as a slight of him. I just think that given the talent there at the running back position and given our kind of specific needs at the moment, I don't really think he fits the bill for us.
I mean, if we were a little bit further along with like development as far as our roster went, then yeah, I maybe could see him taking a second round running back. But as of right now, like us needing edges and line and everything else, no. I just, you know, as a prospect, you know, I definitely see him like being like that kind of Arthur Smith back. Like if he's there, like if somehow by God's, you know, good graces he drops like the third round, then yeah, all day. But probably not in the second, just because you know the team needs are just too high right now.
Yeah, they're just everywhere. How are we feeling about Logan Hall then?
I ain't gonna lie. Him and Travis Jones are kind of tied for me right now.
Yes, yeah. I'm a big fan of Travis Jones.
They're kind of tied for me right now just because both of these guys are people movers. They're both run stuffers and they both can rush the passer a little bit too. So, to be honest, I think he's probably like a top 5, top 10, top 6 prospect at his position. So to be honest, Trey McBride is good, but it's just like after taking a tight end in round 1 last year, are we really going to take another one in the second round when we have way more pressing needs than a tight end too? When you can really just find that in free agency or later in the draft. But for me, I think it's, and then like Vlad said, you have Kenneth Walker there, the prototypical Arthur Smith type back. He isn't as big, but he's still tough, physical, speedy, and can catch out the backfield. So for me, if we were to eliminate somebody, it'd probably be Trey McBride. But all three of these guys are pretty well rounded.
Yeah, I'd probably say McBride would be the outlier here. I think out of the three, though, I think Logan Hall would probably be the one I would keep out of all three of them, just because he kind of fills the need, and he he just fills the need basically. And then Kenneth Walker, essentially, unless you're getting like a Darien or a Henry or somebody, like I'm never a fan of taking a running back, especially this high, just because of just the nature of the position.
Yeah, or also if you're just like, oh, hey, I'm like a running back away from being, like the Super Bowl contender, and not do whatever the heck the Steelers try to do with Najee Harris.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that.
Or with Jaguars and Travis Etienne.
See, that's the thing, right? It's like if you're like to the point where your team's almost Super Bowl contender, like you can have these like luxury picks like that, but the Falcons are like not even in that conversation right now. So out of these three guys, I would keep Logan Hall, but McBride can go for right now, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. What's the rest of the panel thinking?
Hey, Alex.
I like Logan Hall. I don't think he's a top 6 defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman, but I think he's up there. And I think that he would provide relatively good pressure in the interior. But out of all three of them, I think Logan Hall is the keeper. I like Trey McBride because, he has a little tad bit of kittle to his game, but realistically, I'm not taking him in the 43rd pick, and neither am I taking Kenneth Walker. So Logan Hall is like the only one I consider, and I don't think I even like him like over guys like Leo and stuff. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, like if I'm taking any kind of like weapon, I would take Bell over McBride because we just took Kyle Pitts last year, so.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking that Trey McBride's not for us, although he is a great tight end.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
he's probably
be the next George Kittle.
Yeah, I mean, he could be like that one guy where, like, oh man, you missed out on this player. It's like, you gotta remember that guy was not a need for us. It's like, yeah, he can be a great player for someone else, and that's completely fine. It's just we gotta get good elsewhere, And I think the same might go for Logan or Kenneth Walker. It's like, hey,
that type of thing happens every year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good players slide.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
you saw it with Derrick Henry. I mean, if people would have knew what he was today, he probably would have won in the top 10. But like GMs go need over, everything, or sometimes they just want to take a running back in the first round.
Yeah. As much as GMs and stuff want to say, go best player available, like sometimes you can't really do that because if like the best player available has been like 50 tight ends or 50 linebackers, you know what I mean? Like eventually you got to pass on these guys. You can't just keep taking the one position over and over.
Yeah. I mean, I brought these guys up because it's like, hey, you never know if they're going to deem one of these guys best player available. Like this could be the best guy on the board, but this is where you really got to consider, needs and then schemes and then the way the roster looks like, the way that your future contracts may be looking for certain positions. So there's a lot more factors that come into this when you're really trying to dig into these later rounds. And yeah, I do kind of agree that the running back this high is more of a luxury pick than it is more of a, all right, let's just, hey, this guy will complete our offense and then we'll kind of focus on certain other things. Like, this is more of like I feel good where we're at, and I don't want to spoil myself.
And to be honest, a lot of starting running backs do come out of the 3rd and 4th round, some even 5th nowadays. So.
I really like the depth in this running back class.
I mean, personally, I'm looking at I'm kind of when Arthur Smith pointed out Buddy out of for the Gators. I'm looking at him for like in the 4th or 5th round. Like that would be a steal at that point.
Yeah.
Our buddy from
Dameon
Gators.
Pierce.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He looks nice. Not a lot of wear
James
on him.
Cook too.
Yeah, James Cook. He would be a good option.
All right.
I'm
So
looking at
I
guys
think
like Tyler Beatty.
I thought about looking at him too, but I got quite a number of positions to fill out, and I don't think that he's gonna really win me over some other guys. But I think we're gonna save that conversation for until we get there. So Kenneth Walker, you can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, this might not be the smartest move by me, but I'm going to add 2 guys in the same position. And, well, we'll see how the reaction goes. First guy. All right, let's clear this out. Of these 2, who is the better quarterback? Carson Strong or Desmond Ridder?
My personal opinion, Strong.
For me, I probably have to go Riddler just because. Now it's a couple factors that come into this. One,
we got ourselves a controversy here.
Yeah. It's really only about 2 or 3 reasons. One, he has a little bit more accuracy than Strong does. His accuracy is just a tad bit better. 2, he's not injury prone. That's a big thing. I don't need my quarterback being injury prone. Because remember this, guys, this dude has been dealing with ACL, MCL, a lot of tears and strains, and I think that one left or right knee or both since his sophomore year or his junior year. So that's another thing to watch out for. And then 3, I just think he fit better in this scheme. Just because he's like we said, he was more of a play action quarterback at Cincinnati. He played a lot more of that there. He was kind of like that. They kind of put him in a protective system to where he's not forced to make many mistakes, but they're going to take their shots. They're going to go for the long haul. So he kind of reminds me of Matt Ryan just a little bit because Matt Ryan kind of not say protected, but they kind of ran a lot of play action. So if he does fit the scheme a little good too.
I mean, pretty much what Trey said. I mean, nothing really else to add.
All right, Alex, what's your defense for Carson Strong?
Well, in my personal opinion, which is why I'm standing alone in this boat, I think that Carson Strong is the best pure passer in this draft, and hands down. I think that he goes through his progressions the best out of all the quarterbacks here. I think that he probably has the strongest arm out of all the quarterbacks here, maybe outside of Desmond Ridder.
And Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis. I forgot about him. But
oh man, certain fans are not gonna like you for saying that.
I mean,
some of them already have posters of themselves. They already had creative jerseys with this last name.
Man, and not to interrupt, but did y'all see that one post that had Willis's number engraved on the jersey? They have the edits for the dude already. They have his locker number. They have everything set up for dude right now.
That's ridiculous.
Man, these people are thirsty, but not in the hydration way.
Yeah, I keep telling people you got to make that net just wide. Don't get so laser focused on one prospect. You got to be comfortable with 10 or 15 guys in every round. That way, you're never disappointed. You know,
I mean, that's what I learned that because a couple years ago I wasn't really into the draft, and now that I've learned that I can't just get stuck on one guy because that one guy can literally get the pick right before us. So I kind of start watching a lot of guys that I like, and I kind of get the fit of how they would work in the scheme, and I kind of like. If they get selected, I'm like, dang, okay, hopefully we got these next 4 or 5 guys that we can go to,
Exactly.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I got so mad when we missed out on Javon Holland for Richie Grant, and for good reason too. But still, like I got so mad.
Yeah,
But that's the point.
This is just silly old me here. I got mad because we didn't take Khalil Herbert in the 6th round, but instead we took Frank Darby.
Yeah, I ain't now that one right there. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of mad about that one. I was like, "There's no way we're just like." And Khalil Herbert did pretty well this year. He didn't start, but he had some strong runs this year. And I was like, man, like how horrible Mike Davis performed this year. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like Khalil would have came in a little bit strong last year.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all are a little bit more of draft gurus than I am because I'm gonna be real with you. After the 5th round, I kind of check out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did do that too. But last year I tore my ACL, and around the draft time I had surgery, so I wasn't really doing anything around the time. So I was basically just stuck in there watching these dudes talk about picks from the day or two before.
I feel you.
Yeah, so I was like, it was just me sitting there and watching, but I saw it was like a whole bunch of guys that I wanted. And I didn't even know who Frank Darby was. So I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know who.
Yeah,
he
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
What school he went? I didn't even know Frank Darby was Frank Darby. When we selected him.
To be honest, I still don't really know that much about Frank Darby.
I literally said on draft night when the Atlanta Falcons was like, when the Atlanta Falcons selected Frank Darby, my first words were who?
Yeah, that was me too.
I'm still kind of like who?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I'm like,
bro, barely got playing time.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna keep this conversation for a little bit longer. I'm gonna add 2 Georgia players. I keep hearing their names pop up pretty often, and one of them I already kind of promised from last week that their name was gonna pop up on here. So let's do it. I don't know if he's gonna make it here. I don't know if he's gonna fall to 43, but let's just say for funsies.
I think
I had another Walker, Trayvon Walker, and George Pickens.
Ooh. Now I know one guy that's gonna fall there. I can already know. Walker though. Ooh, Walker. Yeah. Walker.
How's Logan Hall looking now?
Ooh. Not too good. Really not too good still, because Walker's like miles better than him.
Yeah.
Indeed. He's first round talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if
Walker could actually be selected in the top 15, to be honest. Like, I'm not even joking. He could literally be selected in the top 15.
Yeah, like if Trayvon Walker falls this far, like it's not even a competition right now. Like everybody on the board can go, basically, as far as I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
There are people that mocked us having Trayvon Walker with just our 8th pick. So I'm not that high on him, or at least not that high on him. But I think he's really good.
I'm dead serious though. If Trayvon Walker's available at 15, at 43, I don't care if freaking Jesus is there, bro. You take Trayvon Walker. I don't care, because Walker.
You're gonna need Jesus to have Trayvon Walker there.
In the top 10.
Yeah, you're gonna need a miracle to have Trayvon Walker there at the 2nd pick.
Yeah. And the fun in me wants to say Walker's definitely gonna be there, but the football fan in me and the draft analyst in me says Walker will probably be going by pick 20.
If Walker makes it to the 2nd round and Wheels taken, that's unfortunate.
I did feel bad about him being left out from last week's conversation. I was like, well, he's probably not gonna guy. He's probably not gonna be a guy that's gonna make it over here this long. But it's like I got to include him in here somehow so that we can talk about him. But I don't know if I left him in an unfair advantage for everyone else because these guys are legitimate like second round talent, and then I'm bringing in a first round guy.
No, if we're gonna say George Pickens is there, he'll probably be there at like 58. Not even gonna lie, but I don't think we take him over Mathis because this draft class. Once you get into the third round, the D tackles start to kind of fade away. Not the D line as in total, but the D tackles kind of start fading away a little bit. So, man, but like dead serious. So like if Walker's there, there's no way I'm passing up on him. If we do, if whoever we pass up on him better be a pro bowler or at least have 10 sacks their first year there.
Let me put it this way: the GMs in the NFL aren't that bad at their job. He's not going to get there.
Yeah. All right. Well then, so that we can add some fairness in here because I feel like I just put Brock Lesnar.
You kind of did.
I was like, all right, yeah, that's basically over. I already can tell. How about I swap him then for another guy that might have another chance of falling in the second round? Now, but I'm going to need your help with this because I brought it down to two possible options. I've seen both of these guys go projected in the second round. Do we bring back the Marvin Leal or do we bring back Jordan Davis?
Marvin
Leal all day.
Okay,
Especially
so what I'm going to do is sorry, Trayvon, but you're too good for us. I'm going to leave him out, and I'm going to swap him for DeMarvin Leal.
Now,
that way,
I'm not going to lie, Noah. Putting Marvin Leal there was like putting Kyle Hamilton right there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like you didn't make this situation any better. I'm gonna be
okay.
I mean,
Jordan Davis.
it was slightly better, but not much.
Not even slightly. Like Leo might even make it there with his arrest. I'm gonna be honest. Like
he might. Actually.
That dude is crazy. Like that dude. Oh, I forgot to mention. There's an interesting stat. No, you got it, Black.
No, I was just gonna say if you're looking at the Marvin Leal, I think I see him more of an outside guy. Like Texas like to rotate him like inside, but I think like he would just be like a monster outside, like rush from like the edge.
Yeah. Like and the crazy thing is too, like Charles Cross had the most pass protection snaps out of anyone in college football, I think, and allowed one sack. And if I'm not mistaken, that one sack was to DeMarvin Leal.
I'm pretty sure
DeMarvin Leal is that good. Like this dude is insane. He got it on the outside. Like this dude is a beast inside, but can play outside, which just adds so much flexibility to our defensive line. So help me, Josh, if he falls to the second round.
Okay, well then I gotta think of a name then because I've already cut myself short. How about John Mechie, the third from Alabama, the wide receiver?
Okay, yeah, no, that makes it better. I think Mechie would be a realistic option right there. Now, the thing is, he did tear his ACL. Now they are saying the doctors that I've heard from or that people are hearing from is that he'll probably be back like week 3, week 4 of the regular season. Just because, the medicine and the workouts that they do in the NFL are way different than if a regular person tore their ACL. So they get back a lot faster and stronger. But I think Mechie, if we end up signing like a number one guy in free agency, not like Devontae Adams or like Mike Williams, Allen Robinson, DJ Chark, I do think that that's a realistic option right there. Just because it kind of he's a route runner, but he's also kind of speedy, and his hands are very well. Like he can run after the catch too. But yeah, if he was right there, I think it it'd probably be too hard to kind of skip on that.
What was his yak yards last year?
I think it was over 700 or 800, if I can remember correctly.
Huh. Yeah, he actually does sound like he would be a really solid number 2 because Arthur Smith loves them yak yards.
Yep, the Yak Boys.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to leave that as every name here. So let's get eliminating. How do we feel about David Dell in comparison?
Oh, no, he can go. He can go.
I'm hearing 1,
Yeah, Bell can go. I like Pickens better than Bell.
2. Oh. Alex leave?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to vote for him and say that Bell's gone. Logan Hall, say goodbye to him. Or
What do you think, Trey?
Who are the guys we have on there right now?
because the rest of them, remember, it's Majai Sanders, Federian Mathis, Logan Hall. I got 2 quarterbacks in Desmond Ritter, Carson Strong. We'll get to that a little bit. Mechie, and then Pickens.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I think he'll go. I think he goes off here.
Logan Hall.
Yeah.
Probably be able to get him in the 3rd round, like at 74.
Yeah. I like Travis Jones a little bit better anyways, so he can go.
All right, then. Federian. We still liking him? Or are we going to move him to the late second conversation?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to transfer him over then. And let's say that he'll be there. I was not expecting myself to reach that far, but. All right, Federian is gone from this conversation. Well, you guys were the Ritter guys, so it seems unfair for Alex to really give his spiel on Carson Strong, but I think just for the sake of what we talked about earlier, Carson Strong is going to go. And that just leaves us with Majai, Ritter, Mechie, or Pickens, and let's leave. We got to take one away here because we got 2 of the same position.
You say who?
Mechie or Pickens. We got to pick one of them.
I'd probably say we take off Pickens.
I'd be cool with that.
Or could we move him into this section?
He would. Do you think he would be there at 58?
It's a possibility. It would be like a guaranteed thing, but if they went like defense the first 2 picks and then like Pickens with that second round pick, like that would actually be pretty awesome. Because I'm thinking that might actually be what, if I was to put money on it, probably what would happen, because they're probably going to look for one of those guys, the defensive guys that fell out of the first round with that second round pick, and then probably try to address the offense with that second round pick. So that's a possibility.
Okay, so I think what I'll do. All right, Ritter doesn't seem like the pick here for me.
Me neither.
At what's left, no.
So
that's just like us having Matt Ryan. That's like the definition of a luxury pick. Like,
right.
Unless you're trying to go get like a replacement, you don't have to back up with a second round pick. Not right now, at least.
Yeah, Vikings, when you took Kellen Mond last year. I think they took him in the 2nd or 3rd round. I was like, what the heck? And then I'm going to move Pickens here. you know what? I think I'm going to keep it with these two up on here for now, because I think they might. Majai Sanders and Mechie could dictate what we decide in this late second round pick, right?
Yeah.
If we go one this way, then we have to go another one this way. So I'm going to keep these two options here. I'm going to write their names a bit differently. Let's get rid of these two numbers. And I'm going to add a third guy to this side, and I'll let it be. Whew. Darien Beavers. You guys can talk about them, and I'll fix the board.
You said who?
Darien Beavers, the linebacker from Cincinnati.
To be honest, I only watched a couple of games of his. Most notably the Alabama game. To be honest, he's not really more different than Harris, other than his speed and his route, his quickness. I think he has. I think Harris has him on that, but if you're putting him, I think 3-4 kind of fits him very well, actually. Now, would he be a starting role in here? No, I think he probably have to learn a little bit. He looked a little raw at times during some of those games, but as far as taking him at 58, I probably have to say no, because he'd probably be there at 74.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree. I mean, he's a really good run defense. His run defense is like really good. His closing speed is pretty solid too. You get a bit of pass rushing ability from him. His ability to shed blocks is kind of suspect. I think he's more of a zone guy.
Yeah.
But
he's a little bit on the smaller side too, right?
Now he's actually a bigger dude, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on.
Yeah, he seems pretty big. I mean, Darien Beavers
6'4", 255.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of baffles me about him being such a big guy. You figured he'd be able to actually, shed blocks a little bit easier. But I'm kind of like, maybe like in the third, but probably not with that second pick personally. Because like I was saying earlier, you probably want to try to address a little bit more of a need, aka a receiver, or something that maybe another pass rusher.
Yeah, cornerback too.
Yeah, I guess like a secondary corner would be nice.
And then we wouldn't have to pay him as much either, and he'd have 5 years on his deal instead of only 4.
So, yeah, like he's a solid dude though.
Let's add another guy here.
Also, guys, if you want to come on and state your opinions, the link is in the chat also.
Yeah, it should be pinned up on there. I'll send it in just one more time, just in case.
Because I know we had a couple of visitors last time. I think like 2, 3, maybe 4, I think.
Yeah.
To have some extra opinions other than just me and Noah's.
Yeah, we can have some tiebreakers, Probably mention some more names up on here as we go along. I know that Tony Wright was mentioning about guys like Leo Chenal and Arnold. We talked about him last week. Hey, my man Jarvis, how's it going?
What's up, bro? What's going on? How you doing, man?
What's going on,
I'm
Jarvis?
doing all right.
How's it going,
What's up, Trey?
Did you take a look at what we've had so far?
I'm just barely getting on, man. My brother over here had me on NBA 2K22, just whooping ass, man, and then got me up here at a 75 overall.
Okay, well, just to recap, I split the board up into two different sections. We have an early second round pick and a late second round pick.
Okay.
We did the same thing as last week, and here are some of the names that we've taken off from this side of the board. They were not in the same order, but here we go. So we took off Nicholas Petit-Fury, the offensive tackle from Ohio State.
Okay.
We took off Zion Johnson from the left guard from Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
We took off both Desmond Ridder and Carson Strong. We took off Logan Hall from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We took off Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State.
Yeah.
We removed David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
We removed Khair Elam, cornerback from Florida.
Yeah.
We removed Trey McBride, tight end from Colorado State.
Okay.
We removed Christian Harris, linebacker from Alabama. We removed Daniel Faele, the offensive tackle from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
We removed George Pickens and Federian Mathis into the next conversation because they might fit more as a late second than an early second.
Okay.
I think that was everyone so far. I don't think I missed anyone. So now we're kind of down to Majai Sanders and John Mechie. And I'm keeping these two here just so that we can figure out whoever we take on this side. It might dictate one or the other.
Okay.
So the guys that we have right now on the board are Federian Mathis, D lineman from Alabama, George Pickens, Darien Beavers, and now I just put Cameron Thomas
from San Diego State.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I kind of like his game. I like Cameron Thomas' game. He remind me of a low budget. What's the guy name? I want to say Max Crosby, but I want to say Joey Bosa.
Very technical guys there.
Yeah, I like Thomas. I'm pretty sure he don't get a lot of recognition because he go to San Diego. But
I'm sure Thomas Dimitroff would have recognized him a long time ago.
Well, yeah. Well, even this regime, because we got Darren Hall.
That's true. We got Darren Hall. We also got Avery Williams too.
Yes.
West Coast.
Yep. There was a Mount West used to be.
Yeah. Okay. So I think so far, I think we were kind of leaning towards Darien Beavers being the weakest link so far.
Yeah.
Give me a little background on Darien Beavers. So
Darien Beavers, I saw him in the Senior Bowl. He was actually doing a pretty good job of getting to good positions in coverage against tight ends. The guy is like 6'4", 255. I think he wants to try to be like a middle linebacker, but he can play off ball and kind of move around if you really need a linebacker.
What school?
From Cincinnati.
Okay.
I think he was wearing number 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was right there with Majay Sanders. Yeah, okay.
Right. So that's going to be it for them. I think I'm going to add another guy here.
Wherever y'all living at, man, enjoy the weather where y'all can, man. I'm in Missouri. Military brought me here, so I'm up here, and it's cold, snowing.
Feel bad for you, dude. I thought it was cold here in Tennessee, but I'm counting my blessings now.
It's no
I've been told to believe that I don't believe in cold in California.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to live in Los Angeles, man. If it wants to get, and also Pomona, California. So if it wants to get cold, it can.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it can get nippy with the wind.
Oh
You
yes.
know, that's what's happening right now. But
Man,
I take a look at other places and I'm like, I think I'm spoiled.
And I
just
used to live in New York. I lived in New York for 3 years, and that snow is that snow is not compared to any other snow that you've been in. We talking about feet. We ain't talking about inches anymore.
Man, I
Yeah,
should be
I mean,
glad y'all not in.
when I was in New York for just a hot minute, I was there in April and it was very humid.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't really have to worry about that over here in Cali. We got that dry heat.
And then, I deployed to Afghanistan. I landed in a place called Kyrgyzstan, which is south of Siberia, and it was negative 45 degrees.
Good Lord.
Got to Afghanistan, and with all the gear we had on, it made it 135 degrees.
My goodness, it's a miracle we have you.
That's what I'm saying. That is crazy, dude.
Hey man, hey, and you get shot at in 135 degrees, even worse, because you're trying to find places to go and you sweaty, you tired.
Man, I should be glad y'all not in Georgia's bipolar weather right now.
I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia, man. I'm from Warner Robins, so I know.
Man, I think this was just Monday. It was like 45 degrees during the day, and then the day it's like 75. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah,
what
I'm originally from Cobb.
Cobb County, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. My commander, I sent him on a trip down to do some disasters training for the military, and the training took place in Tampa. He gonna text me talking, oh, it's 80 degrees today. I said, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Don't text me none of that bullshit, man. Keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm trying to get back to.
Okay. Let's see here.
Quay Walker.
Oh man, Georgia Bulldog. Okay, so I'm a Georgia Bulldog hater. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm an LSU fan. But I don't.
I do have some LSU players that I'm gonna add to this list.
But I don't hate them more than I hate Florida.
Yeah, we removed Kair Elam.
Oh yeah.
So, how are we feeling about the difference between Darien Beavers and Quay Walker?
I like Quay Walker better.
Yeah,
I think he has a better multitude of pass rushing moves, and he's a little bit more. I think he's a little bit more athletic.
Yeah, I like the athletic upside. So yeah, Walker all day.
All right.
To be honest, I think Walker is a little bit more versatile than some of the guys that's in this draft.
Well, I like him too because physically and mentally, he has just sound technique about him too, and he's a good comfortable playing behind the D line, attacking the line, sound coverage. Like I said, reliable tackler, quick feet. I like him.
His pursuit skills are really good.
Yeah.
He trusts his instincts. Unlike I can't speak on Beavers because I haven't really paid attention to him, but somebody like who can I say? Well, Maji had an issue with it. Maji has an issue with pursuit. Yes, he can get to the quarterback, things of that nature, but he doesn't always trust his eyes. Quay, on the other hand, if he spots you out, it's over.
He's got good size to him too. 6'4", about 6'4". What is he, like 240, 245, something like
245. That? And he could put some more weight on his frame, at least get up to about 255, 260.
I mean, if Dean Pease wanted him to bulk up for maybe a middle linebacker spot or something, yeah.
All right. Well, I think everything's in favor for Quay Walker over Darien Beavers, so there's no really point in keeping Beavers up on here then. Let me add another guy. You know what? How about one of you guys recommend a position?
Let's go. Let's go corner.
Okay.
I say put Christian Watson up there.
Oh yeah, him too.
You know what? Since this was said first, I'm going to put a corner.
Woodland, okay, the USTA guy, okay. Or
Yeah,
UTSA
Tariq
guy,
Woolen.
sure. UTSA guy, okay, I like him.
6'4".
6'4". He's a good blitzer off the corner. I was looking at some of his tape a little bit. Good blitzer off the corner if he wants to come get the quarterback.
He might just be one of the most athletic corners in this draft.
Yeah, true enough.
That's what I was about to actually say. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he ran 4.2 at the combine.
He's a very for 6'4", he's a very speedy dude. He's kind of versatile too.
He's got a pretty good wingspan too. Like
he does,
70. It's like 79. It's like 79 inches if I'm not mistaken.
Oh shit, that's only one off of what? No, not like three or four off from Kyle Pitts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude's got some length to him.
That's the mold of Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, but what's the other corner name they had? Browner.
Yeah, Brandon Browner.
Yeah. I mean, you know that kind, you can't teach length, man. You can't teach length.
I'm looking up some numbers right now, and he's saying that he's reported to have ran at least a 4.34 laser time and had an 11.5 broad jump. So yeah, he's
freak.
Yeah,
athletic freak.
Yeah, I'm definitely tuning into his combine.
Yeah, dude's gonna light it up.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he rises to a first rounder after the combine.
Yeah, that's why I hate kind of mentioning him now. I'm like, I don't think he's gonna be here. He might be too good for us at 58.
He might be too good for us at 43 because if he blows the combine up and has like a 4.3, 4.2, and he's 6'4", oh, teams are jumping on that already.
Okay, so
just look at the match. Just imagine, bro, him on the other side of Terrell.
Yeah,
I mean that's why I added him here.
You know, just if you imagine him, and then let's say they bring somebody like Isaiah Oliver back. Isaiah was having a great season before he got hurt, and then you added somebody like Richard Grant. Man, that secondary could be deadly.
Yeah, that secondary is going to be on point. The thing about Walker or Wooler too is rather, he's not a skinny dude either. Like he's like 205, 210. Like he's got some weight to him.
But imagine what he can do if he could tone it up.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie. If we were to get like a late first round pick for Calvin, I would not be mad if we took him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm kind of under the notion that once he goes to the combine, he's probably going to be like a late second, maybe a late first, early second rounder. But
because to be honest, I just don't see how you can pass up on that right there.
Yeah, true.
You have everything you basically need in a corner, and even more. You got the length, the athleticism, the height, the weight, the speed. He can play zone too. I don't see why people don't talk about him more, to be honest.
Yeah, I was listening earlier today. I don't know if y'all ever watched the podcast on YouTube called The Final Whistle with Tori McElhaney. So
yeah,
Tori had said something to me today that made a lot of sense. Probably made sense to y'all too. So over the last 10 years, maybe I think she said she gonna count the last 10 years of the Atlanta Falcons seasons, we have missed on. I think she said 90% of our pass rushers that we have drafted. That's free agent or in free agency. So in free agency and drafting, we have missed on 90% of our pass rushers.
I'm gonna be honest. All I gotta say is two names: Thomas Dimitroff, T.J. Watt. That man couldn't find a pass. He couldn't find a pass rusher if, like, Reggie White came back from the dead and was like, "Look, I'm gonna come." You know what I mean? Like, it was the man was terrible at it.
Yeah, and we're hurting for it. We're hurting.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, I'm surprised he found a gem in Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, because the man was, to be honest, he was just terrible and just drafting in the trenches completely. I mean, his best draft pick was Vic Beasley, and he had one good season, and everything else was terrible.
But you know what though? Everybody bashes Vic Beasley, but if you go back and look at his stats, the last year he was here, he had 8 sacks. That's still more than what Thomas Dimitroff have brought in through free agency.
Yeah, that's still more than Dante Fowler in 2 years.
Now the thing is, all I will say about Vic Beasley is Dean Pease and Vic Beasley, or Dan Quinn and Vic Beasley.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a firm believer in Thomas Dimitroff. I think if Thomas Dimitroff literally wasn't here when Dan Quinn took over, Dan Quinn would probably still be the head coach. Thomas Dimitroff kind of single-handedly took Dan Quinn down with him.
Here, you know what? Because I looked at an article from, I think it was an NFL Draft Buzz. They were trying to think of the position that was taken. This was dating back to the last 10 draft classes, right? So from the last 10 years, let's take a look at all the guys that we selected.
And you better not say
who
Jamal
was the
Anderson.
best available, and then who was the best available at that position. The one that terrified me the most that we could have had, I think this was the same year. I'm gonna look this up just to be certain that this was true, because now that I think about it, it might not have been the same draft class. But NFC do-over.
Because I'm pretty sure most of y'all remember that Jamal Anderson draft.
Oh God!
When we drafted Jamal Anderson, everybody was like, "Oh my God, we found the next future for our pass rush." Man, we didn't do nothing.
What, man? And the crazy thing is that entire draft class is gone
Out of the NFL, period.
Yeah, out of the NFL. It's like they're not even like a death piece on anything. Like, they're completely out of the NFL on their rookie. Like, they're basically surviving off of their rookie contracts right now that they didn't even last through, because Jamal Anderson got cut in 2014 year after that. So they're basically just surviving off of their rookie contracts, while you have who did we miss on that year that was at that pick that's like kind of pretty good right now?
In 08?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was that? I can't remember.
Okay, so I got back to the article that I was mentioning. So this was in the 2015 draft.
Mm-hmm.
We took Justin Hardy in the 4th round at pick 107. You know another wide receiver that was still there?
Who was that?
Stephon Diggs.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I remembered that, but it's like now you're like, now I want to just throw the Metro off a bridge,
Speaking of talent, though, like that, like that's one of the things I like about Wooler, though. Getting back to the board, is he's only really been playing corner for 2 years.
Yes,
like his upside could be like scary good,
off the charts. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. I totally agree. I agree with that. With that.
All right. Speaking of which, I'm gonna add some more names up on here because I kind of feel like we've been ignoring it. Just
I'm sorry. Bit. Get into these tangents. My bad.
Yeah, I mean it's natural. What happens?
First, one last thing on the 2015 thing. All I will say is he's very lucky that Grady Jarrett is what Grady Jarrett is right now.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Oh man, because just to think about it, right? Because it was Vic Beasley, then Jalen Collins, and Tevin Coleman, then Justin Hardy, then Grady Jarrett, then Akeem King, and then Jake Rogers in the 7th.
Who?
Exactly.
Who's a King? I don't remember.
Oh, the cat out of the San Jose State. So
He was a fast safety. That's
he was
it.
fast safety. Yeah.
They got burned out of the league in like 2 years, I think. But let's get back to this board.
All right, let's get back, and I'm going to add a name, a fan favorite, if you will. Oh, crap. This is a bad time for my black marker to go bad.
And it's on live. That's a damn shame.
Okay, it's a good thing I got spares. This might not be outlet visible. Christian Watson.
Yes. So North Dakota's wide receiver.
Right. Tony Wright, I know you're still watching this. All right, this is your guy.
What 6'5", 225, I think it was 220.
215. 215.
Okay.
What I would say about Christian Watson is, now, I'm not gonna say he was Julio Jones because that's just disrespectful.
Yes.
Julio's probably a top 5 wide receiver of all time, but the frame that he has reminds you of Julio. Bulk, size, hands, route running, speed, all in one. It's basically the light-skinned version of Julio Jones from North Dakota State and Alabama.
You know what though? I'm sorry, let me cut you off. So Trey, I can tell you this right here, and Vlad, and Noel too. What I've seen from the cat up there in North Dakota, this kid is very twitchy. I seen him take that reverse. Did you see that highlight when he took the reverse and or the jet sweep and ran it up the field? Bro. That kid is twitchy. To be his size, his height, and weight, he is very twitchy.
And the thing is, he can play. He can take runs out the backfield too. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy thing. He can take a run out the backfield and just go with it.
I'm looking up some stats right now. Speaking of his measurables, this man's got 10-inch hands too.
Shit, that's bigger than Julio's.
Yeah,
that's way bigger.
I think Julio was at 9.5 or
9.5.
Yeah, it was either 9 or 9.5. So he got bigger hands than
and he averaged 17 yard per reception as a senior,
off the chart
with 8 touchdowns.
And the thing, and people hit the people at North Dakota State, and scouts are projecting him to be like a 4.3 speed. That's just how fast that man is. And you're telling me I have a dude that can go into the end zone, take a jump ball from anybody, or I have a dude that can just burn you over the top. To be honest, he's kind of like Woolen. If he performs lights out at the combine, he might not be there at 58 or 43. He might be taken at like 29, 30.
Why do people have him in the late second round?
Because people sleeping on him.
Yeah, because
the school he goes to.
Yeah, that, and because there's no other talent at North Dakota State other than him, so they're not looking at him. And the thing you have to realize is, what are most of these wide receivers that are coming out of the draft coming from? Playoff teams, contending teams, teams that went to the playoffs.
Ohio State,
Clemson, Penn State, Alabama,
Cincinnati now.
Yep. Like, no one, they're not going to pay attention to North Dakota State because it's North Dakota State. When you just had a quarterback that might be the starting quarterback for the 49ers, and this is why I say, look, it's a team that might take Watson in the end of the first. Yep. Because guess what? Trey Lance is most likely going to start this year. Guess who was his main target at North Dakota State? Those 3 years he was there.
Oh dear God! I do not want that to happen.
Yeah, look. What I will say is, if that happens, if Shanahan doesn't win the Super Bowl with that, he doesn't deserve to be a head coach at all. There's no way.
He'll come back and be
give him the Sean Payton demotion to being like the 6th grade coach.
Yeah, because it's like you have a George Kittle, you have Brandon Ayuk, you have the second most versatile, other than Cordell Patterson, of course, wide receiver in the NFL.
And
you have a decent O-line. You have a top 5 defense. You
have the best left tackle in Trent Williams.
Yeah, you have a top 5 running game. You have weapons all over the board, and you add Christian Wilson, and you still can't win a Super Bowl.
Check this. I just looked up I looked up one of his other abilities, traits rather. This is like phenomenal to me. But this man apparently had 57 plays resulting in a 20+ yard gain over the course of his career. Like that is insane.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's like Tyreek Hill numbers.
Yeah,
that's bro. Do you understand how good you have to be for that? Some wide receivers don't get that in their careers, bro.
Bro, you said 57. You said 57?
57 plays resulting in 20+ yard gains over the course of his career.
That was more.
Man, John Minchie over here is looking like like a bum. I'm sorry, but geez.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris. And the thing
you need to be swapping him up there.
The thing is, people don't even have this man as a top 5 wide receiver.
That's what's wild about it. And this man isn't like he's small either. Like we said a minute ago, this man's huge. You know,
he's 6'5". He's Julio. He's taller than Julio. He's bigger than Julio.
He's 6'4". Like
he's Mike. He's Mike Evans right now.
Yeah, he's Mike. He's 6'5", 215, 220, and faster than Julio and Mike Evans. Because Julio ran a 4.39. I mean a 4.3
on a fractured foot.
And what?
I knew your ass was gonna put that in there.
So I mean, like if the Falcons were able to grab this dude, like with that first, second round pick, that would be kind of a steal, especially after he goes to the combine and probably lights it up.
And to be honest, if he could really be the number 1 wide receiver down the road, like if you sign a DJ Chark, Allen Robinson, and then after you release them 3 years down the line, and he becomes your number 1 wide receiver, just think of him and Pitts. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Him and Pitts.
Offense completed.
Two big dudes. And the thing is, watch just an inch smaller or a half an inch smaller.
If you go back to the Senior Bowl too, like he was creating separation against these D1 schools. Like
he just had terrible quarterbacks throwing it to him like that. Did y'all see the route he did on McSiri where he cooked him? He faked in. Went up, did a comeback, and the ball hit the sideline, hit the bottom of the sideline. He looked so bad. He was like, dude, like, are you serious? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think, you know, I know we're not talking about the Falcons at number 8, but I do think the Falcons got some up their sleeve that we're just unprepared for at the moment. I think they're looking, you know, they're having this tight lip. They had it last year and they got it this year. They got this tight lip mantra about them that we're going into this thing thinking they're going to do one thing and they're going to do something totally different. And it's going to be like, oh shit, I didn't even see that coming.
I mean, I can see them.
Like a lot of people, basically 90% of NFL draft analysts thought they were going quarterback last year until like that second week of April. They were like, no, it's Kyle Pitts. And then they started going back to quarterback. And then it was like, well, a lot of people, like, some people expected Kyle Pitts, but a lot of people weren't expecting Kyle Pitts. They were expecting Fields, Lance, whoever was at quarterback to go there.
See, what I think happened that year is we were trying to bait the 49ers into jumping up ahead of us for Trey Lance. So we could get Pitts. So I think that's kind of what all the quarterback talk resulted in.
Yeah.
Because if they're keeping him this year and it's a lock to keep him this year, there was no way they were going to take a quarterback last year. Like,
yeah,
the money wasn't going to allow it. But like I said, the money, the way his contract is set up, the money we had last year. I mean, we barely were able to sign Pitts, and we had to trade Julio to sign the draft class. And we were probably going to have to, if we selected a quarterback top 5, they get paid like $33 million, $34 million. Pitts only got paid $26. Yeah, so that's an extra $8 million that you have to pay, and then you're probably going to have to end up paying somebody else or restructuring Matt or somebody else all over again.
I mean,
it just makes the situation worse. So
if somebody like the Steelers wants to trade up to like that 8th pick to get like a Willis, we drop back, and then And then we get a guy like a Christian Watson, like the mid to late round, first round pick. Like I could see that being a lane too. You might take.
So to answer your thing, Noah, is I don't think John Metchie gonna make it to this round, bro. I think we on this hype train with the Christian Watson, man, from what we've seen.
Yeah. To be honest,
Right.
we might as well end the
So
video
should I
right
swap
here.
these guys? We should probably swap these guys then.
Yeah.
Let's do that then. And then, so are we just kissing Mechie goodbye then at this point?
Yeah. Even as an Alabama fan, I gotta say I'm sorry, but Mechie's gotta go. Like I love Mechie to death. I hope he does well. I hope he comes here, to be honest. But if you're telling me to pick between Christian Watson or Mechie, I'm going Christian Watson every day out of the week.
Because the thing about it, what really sold me on Watson is when he did go to the Senior Bowl and was just smoking these top tier guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think Atlanta, and Noah can say this too. I think Atlanta is like, you know what? I don't want no more Alabama wide receivers. None.
All right. I think each of you guys, we gotta speed this up at some point. Each of you guys, give me a position. Let me throw up on here. Not necessarily a player, but just a position.
Guard, inside lineman.
All right, inside linebacker or inside lineman.
The guard out of Michigan, out of Memphis. I forgot his name, but I can't think of it.
I'm gonna put Jamari Salyer.
Okay, Georgia. Okay.
I've heard of him.
He did pretty good. I like what he did. I watched the championship game. He actually redeemed himself really well. In the playoffs game or the championship game versus the SEC game because he struggled a good bit.
Okay. Trey, give me another position.
I said corner last time. Let's go running back.
Running back.
Breeze Hall.
Isaiah Spiller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vlad, give me a position.
I'll go a little bit different. Let's say safety.
Safety? I was not expecting that. Well, I mean, it's because we took Kyle Hamilton. Like, why do we need another safety?
Man, I'm just messing with you. Let's go. I forgot I caught you off guard with that one. Let's do.
Well, I was scrolling like crazy. I'm like, maybe Kirby Joseph, maybe Verone McKinley, maybe.
Oh man, that's funny.
Jaquan Brisker.
Let's go edge. All
right, edge.
Can't have enough edges.
Oh. Josh Paschal or whatever the guy from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can go another one for you. Travis Jones.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Travis Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Jones. I'm going to add a guy, and that is going to be Darian Winfrey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oklahoma.
Bro. Ooh. I just call him Mammoth, man. That's his name. I just call him a Mammoth. My God, that man is huge.
Another edge for you, Benito, Oklahoma.
Oh, Nick Benito.
I like Benito too.
Yeah, sorry, say it right with two T's.
I think that is. I thought it was a B-E-N. Benito. I could be wrong.
Who's the kid out of South Carolina?
Yeah, Nikbonitto. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The edge out of South Carolina. What was his name?
King. The King.
Kingsley or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about him last week. Do we want to resurrect him?
Yeah, we did. That's right. We did. We talked.
You're right.
Or does he fit better in the late second then?
Probably.
He'll be at the top of the second though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably say it's top.
Probably that 43rd pick is probably where we have to take him, or probably even trade up.
I'm gonna add another guy then. Ed Ingram.
Okay, yeah, no, he'll probably.
Oh
be
yeah, on the guard out of LSU.
Yeah. All right, now how are we feeling about the sport? We just kind of said run through this, but all right, how do we? Let's see. Let's get you guys be able to see it.
Hey, before you
All
move
right.
on, Noah, what can you add one more to 15?
Who?
Well, is it the tackle or the guard out of Kentucky? That big guy. What his name is? The guard. He's right now. He's like right there, like middle of the second type guy. He's really good. What's the tackle name? What the hell is his name? I just watched some of his tape. Yeah, I can't go. I ain't bother YouTube where I can just go out and still watch YouTube and shit and cancel out on me quick.
You said it was from where?
What are you on?
Kentucky.
Darian Kennard.
Yes.
Oh, y'all think he'll be available at that? I mean, no, he'll probably will because he has fallen down a couple of boards lately. Because wasn't he projected to be like a first round pick a couple weeks ago?
Yes, he was.
I mean, most of the time when I watch mock drafts, it was like he's probably like middle of the second, probably early second. But a lot of people say he can probably fall to like 50, like the 50s. Depends on how he tests, because
now,
that.
I'm going to say this again because we don't necessarily have to be static at 43 and 58.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes,
just think of this as a window of like, okay, well, let's split like pick 54 is this bar, like or something like that, whatever the split is.
So give us best player available at 16. What's the best player available that you think right there at 16?
Oh, right here. I don't know about best player available, but I'm gonna give another fun option. Another Kentucky guy, Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, that's okay.
You said Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, I like Wan'Dale.
I think he'll be available in the third, but if we double dip on wide receiver, I definitely think him and Christian Watson would be deadly.
Yeah, because I think he's better than Bell.
So yeah, to be honest, he is. And it's not that Bell isn't a good wide receiver, but it's just speed kills in this league right now. And Wan'Dale, maybe, in my opinion, maybe a little bit more shifty than Jamison Williams.
All right. So just to recap, we got Federian Mathis, George Pickens, Cameron Thomas, Quay Walker, Tariq Woolen, Jamari Salyer, Isaiah Spiller, Josh Paschal, Travis Jones, Darian Winfrey, Nick Benito, Ed Ingram, Darian Kennard, and Wan'Dale Robinson. We got to start eliminating names and breaking hearts, people. So who are we looking at first?
I'm going to have to go for Darian right here. My own Alabama product, man.
So who we get rid of?
Yeah. So Trey's thinking, the Alabama fan himself is thinking Federian Mathis is going to be gone.
Okay. I don't know much about him. I think I seen him a couple times, flash up in the game, but I don't know much about him.
Well, just know that the Alabama fan himself is going to give up on him right now.
That's what I
was
quick. That's what I was going to say. I'm just gonna default this to Trey. If he's willing to take him off, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
All right. Federian is gone.
And the reason I say that, he's talented, but he's literally the least talented person left out of those last couple of guys.
How are we feeling about Cameron Thomas? Should we get rid of him?
I like his game, but he's not better than Quay Walker. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll agree there. Yeah, definitely.
Cameron's going. Trey?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Cameron Thomas. Eliminated. All right. Let's talk about Salyer and Ed Ingram. Who do we like there? Because they're both guards.
You said Kennard and Ingram?
Or Salyer and Ingram.
Oh yes, yeah, okay. Of course, you know my LSU Tigers don't. They kind of fell off the cliff since 2019. So Ingram has struggled a good bit, especially that Auburn game we played against. Oh, he struggled. Lord have mercy, he struggled. He got bad feet work. I like him. I think footwork for a guard in the NFL can be worked on just like anything else. But Sawyer's a little bit more polished.
Yeah, I like Sawyer actually better personally. He's got the he's got like a real stout frame. He's got more weight on him than
Yes.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Sorry, I had a brain fart. So I think I think he would be the better guy in this situation.
For sure.
So take off Ed Ingram?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
All right, Ed Ingram is gone. Okay. Let's talk about Isaiah Spiller. How do we feel about him?
Shifty back. Somebody Atlanta could really use if they were going to pick the late second. Shifty back.
I mean, he's 225, definitely not 252.
Yeah,
as far as things, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's 225. He can get out the backfield. He can run between the tackles. He's good. He can run his own scheme, which I've seen Jimbo run a little bit at Texas A&M. Excuse me.
He kind of reminds me of Rashad Penny a little bit.
Yeah. But Penny got to stay healthy though. I ain't gonna even get into that. That's another conversation for another time. I like Spiller.
But as the second pick of the second round, considering who we have here, is he worth it?
Nah.
Yeah, no. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, if we thought this about Kenneth Walker, it's only natural we were going to think about this with the Spiller. They're more of a luxury pick than a necessity for us.
Yeah.
Now, if he's there, if God says Isaiah Spiller falls to pick, 74
in third round, he
gone. I don't care what there. Take Spiller off rip.
Yeah,
because I was thinking about. Well, because I was thinking about the third round, maybe adding a guy like Breece Hall into the conversation too.
Yeah, I like Breece.
Oh, yeah. Now, Now I have a question for all three of y'all though. What if both of those guys are there and you have to choose between one of them?
I'll take him Spiller because he's more versatile.
Yeah, I'd co-sign that. Yeah,
I probably have to do the same because Breece is a great back, but he's more of a power back.
He is, man. I mean, if we had 2 third-round picks, maybe we'll double dip. But if it's just one, nah.
And especially when Spiller can kind of be a physical back too.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it's just take Spiller if he's there because he can catch out the backfield. He's physical. He's more faster, more versatile. He can go spread out as a wideout. He can catch out the backfield. I mean, it's just up that. To be honest, he may not be the best running back in the draft because I think Walker's better than him. But as far as being a great back, he probably is like the number 2. But to be honest, Noah said, this running back class is filled, so a lot of guys are probably going to end up falling to round 3 and 4 because teams feel like they can wait.
Yeah, there's a lot of on a lot of the mock drafts that I do, I've always seen there's always 5 good running backs and 5 good tight ends to choose from in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
Yeah, see, that's it, right? That's why I'm always really against, unless you're getting like a pretty much a guaranteed dude, like a like a Henry and like the second. Like I'm always really against running back that high, like I was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because then even if you get a guy like who let's say like Dalvin Cook, like if you get a guy of that stature and capability, they're eventually going to ask for a lot more money.
Yeah, but you got to do a running back by committee. That's why I think Dallas is really just upset with themselves. Like, man, why the fuck are we paying Zeke all this money? And Tony and Pollard is just back there ripping runs off. Zeke can't even do it. So I think the NFL is going to move more towards a do it by committee. Get these 3rd and 4th round draft picks by committee. Their contract comes up and it is over with. Draft 2 more.
Basically.
We're starting to see what star running backs are starting to turn into. McCaffrey, piece of glass. Saquon, piece of glass. You saw it with Henry this year. Foot fracture. Not how long he is going to last. And the thing
here's a running back that's a piece of glass. David Johnson.
Yeah.
Man,
but look at Cam Akers. Cam Akers was like glass this year.
Yeah. If hit stick was a thing in the NFL, like in real life, and you hit David Johnson with that, that's his career right there.
He gonna turn into Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, that's his career right there. And then the thing is, guess you got another young back that's popping off right now in Jonathan Taylor, but the Colts keep running that man like that. That's the last of that. You'll probably get a good, maybe one more 1,000-yard season out of him after that.
They haven't learned. They haven't learned what happened to Michael Turner. Everybody know when we got Michael Turner, we put them 300 carries on him. It was no more Michael Turner, the same person anymore.
Or heck, even Todd Gurley.
Yes.
True. Todd Gurley, even though he tore his ACL, he was still good until the Rams just put that entire offense
on his back.
Him.
Then he got the Megan Thee Stallion knees.
Yeah. He ain't dropping it like it's hot no more.
Ooh, right. So let's go back to this one. Let's go Benito versus Paschal. How do we feel there?
Benito.
Yeah, Benito. I like Paschal, but I like Benito.
Yeah, I'm keeping Benito.
Well, that was pretty simple. Goodbye, Josh. I would have liked the idea of us, kind of taking like Drake Jackson and Josh Paschal, so we can have our pass rusher duo be Drake and Josh. But looks like that dream's gone. Anyways, Travis Jones versus Perry and Winfrey.
I like Travis, man. Travis is a beast in the middle.
Yeah.
Now Winfrey is more of a. Who can I compare him to? He's a disruptor. Y'all remember Rod Coleman?
He's an Ndamukong Suh of that Oklahoma defense.
Yeah. Do y'all remember Rod Coleman?
Yeah.
Played for Falcons. That's who Winfrey
is. Okay.
Yeah. But as far as like Travis Jones, honestly, is like my favorite in this class. Like value versus like position, like where you can get him versus like he's just
Yeah, I like him because he is dominant against the run. You run the middle if you want to.
Ain't gonna do you no good.
and that's the thing though, because like y'all saw those last couple of games. What were the Bills and the Saints and the Lions? What were they doing? They were just running straight at us. It wasn't straight at us runs. It wasn't because they know our linebackers and our corners are too good and too fast for that.
Mm-hmm.
But they say, you know what? They're small, and all we got to do is triple Grady, and we can just run right through the middle. And that's the thing that we may select a dude like Travis Jones in the draft in like the second round because, well, you can't have that happen to you. When you in the last 3 weeks of the season and you're getting ran on for 355 yards and combined in all 3 of those games and 4 touchdowns rushing, that just can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That cannot happen if you want to be a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows that you're just a weak defense overall. Like you may be fast, you may be athletic, but you're not big. You're not strong. You're not good. And those guys, some of these D linemen have to take that to heart. And
Mm-hmm.
it may just have to be, hey, we may just have to have 350 pound guys, or 320, 330 guys right there, just to take up a gap. So Grady can get past, or if we sign a guy like Harold Landry or Roger Sanders or
I mean,
whoever,
to
they
to
can free up some get in the running lanes too.
Yeah.
I mean, to be real with you, like I wouldn't even be upset if they went like Travis Jones or like Benito with like these two second round picks. Like
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't even like make me mad about that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Noah.
Mhm.
If Marlon Davidson, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Marlon Davidson do not play over 50% of the games next year,
Oh, he gone.
his ass gonna be gone.
Because they don't owe him anything. They didn't select him, and he only played 2 games his rookie year. He missed 5 games this year. And in those 12 games that he played, he only made about 3 or 4 good plays. He wasn't really
And they
doing
were all
anything.
against Brady.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they all against Brady. He had the pick six. He had the sack. He had
So,
the 2 yard loss he had against Fournette in the first game,
mm-hmm.
and the little batted down pass he had against Brady in that second game. That was really the only plays he made.
no,
And
no more drafting players who talk at the combine or at draft night. Everybody talks gonna get to the quarterback. All this. Oh, I get to abuse a man, and I don't get in trouble for it. I don't want. If you talk like that, we ain't drafting you because we already know you full of shit. We ain't doing no more of that no more.
man, look, and the thing is, I want to see what they do with him because they see he's just way too small to be going up against these 6'6", 6'5", 330-pound offensive linemen. Put that man back at defensive end, please.
Yes.
Please. He would be a terrific 3-4 defensive end in the heavy sets, in the specific rundown. Let that man go back to what he
He's
was used to.
275, 280. I don't know what they're doing out here, man.
Yeah, cause
Crazy.
like I don't like man, like I understand that he was set as a DT and by Dan Quinn, but look, while I'm gonna say is F what Dan Quinn says, he's not the coach anymore. You put that man at 3-4 in and let him go dominate there because we see he's just too small,
Well,
even
because
for a 4-3 defensive tackle.
right now they have him backing up Grady Jarrett.
That can't
For
look.
that kind of team.
That can't happen, man. I'm sorry. That put him at defensive end. I'm sick and tired of getting these undersized defensive tackles and expecting them to fill up these run lanes and
I
get
mean,
pressure
just-
when all the offensive linemen got to do is just get in front of them because they're not bull rushing nobody.
I mean,
Only dude on this defensive line in the DT area that can bull rush somebody is number 97.
think about it though. You got him. Let's say you got him. You got Travis Jones in the middle, and you got Grady on the other side. That'd be one hell of a 3-4 set.
It could.
And then let's say if we don't end up selecting Hamilton and Thibodeau end up falls and we get him, that's that's what you need right now. You need these big athletic guys that can get on the outside and on the inside too. But like we just need we need a man eater right now.
I mean, heck, I wouldn't even hate it if like we went like Thibodeau, Jones, and like Benito with like the first 3 picks. That'd be
Mhm.
insane.
I mean it help. I mean like
Yeah,
cause
Or maybe if not Thibodeau, then maybe Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
cause like
yeah.
we can't look. I love a Jabo, but we cannot draft him. I'm
No.
sorry, we
No,
cannot
no, no,
draft him.
no. If I hear with the first pick, 8th overall, the Atlanta Falcons select Ojabo, I'm gonna kick my TV off the fucking dress. I'm telling you, I'm kicking it off the dress, bro.
Because, dude, he's just another Vic Beasley, bro, and he's not gonna help in the run. I need me a complete defensive end that can help in the run
Mm-hmm.
and the pass
Well,
and
that's
dropping coverage, and that's exactly what Thibodeau and Jermaine Johnson is.
I mean, that's
Now,
what you.
Does that describe Benito then too?
See, I like Benito. I like Benito better than Ojabo just because you can get Benito like in the second round. You won't have to invest that first round. Like Ojabo's the better player, in my opinion, but like not by enough to like select him in that first pick though. You know what I mean?
And to be
not at all.
honest, Benito, the reason I wouldn't be upset with Benito is one because you can get him in the second round, but two, he's more physical than David Ojabo is.
Yeah,
He
true.
may not be as polished as he is in pass rush, but he
But he
can
can
still
set the
pass
edge.
rush.
He can set the edge.
I mean, that's literally their I just looked it up. That's the comp of a Benito right now. It's like Vic Beasley. He's like Vic Beasley, but more physical.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! And then Josh to remind us that we took Vic Beasley at 8 too.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
no
much.
shades of that anymore.
Please, man, look, because right now Thibodeau is actually stated to fall right now because teams are looking at how deep this edge class is, and that you don't need to take one in the first round.
Well, they're
Us,
not
we
just
need
looking
to
at it.
take one in the first round. We need to take a D lineman in the first round.
I'm
But
gonna
they're
be
not-
honest with you.
Mhm.
If we get Thibodeau in the first, like that.
But the
You won the
thing
draft
is,
already right there.
the thing
Yeah,
is though,
he-
Vlad and Trey, everybody's talking about Thibodeau as his work ethic. We talked about it last week or a couple of days ago. His work ethic. That's why he's falling on the board too, because everybody's like, okay, who are we really getting?
See.
Are we getting somebody who is just waiting to get a check and do the Albert Hainsworth to the team, or are we getting somebody who's willing to come in and work his ass off?
Yeah, I don't know if a guy like Kayvon would describe someone that Arthur Smith would like, or Dean Pease.
Now, I did watch a couple interviews of Thibodeau because I wanted to see how he works himself. Now, Ray Lewis. Now we all know what Ray Lewis is. Ray Lewis is probably the hardest working NFL player we've probably ever seen. After what he went through as a child and what he had to go through in college.
Easily in that conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have Ray Lewis relating himself to a rookie like that, I think it kind of states that. Now, of course, he does. Like I said, I'm going to have to figure whoever drafts him, hopefully I'm kind of praying he does kind of fall. Or if we do end up drafting him, we have to see where is that motor problem at. Are we going to get like a 2-3 plays out of him and then he's gone for 2? Like he's still on the field, but he's not doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we going to get he's working his butt off every play, trying to do something, trying to make a play, trying to help someone out. And if we get that Thibodeau with DMP's coaching and his abilities, it's over with.
See, Thibodeau's gonna basically live or die based on his interviews. Like I think
I agree.
Like the second he goes and these teams start interviewing him, that's where they're gonna really determine where he goes.
Yes.
I don't even think these teams really know where he's gonna go yet.
Because until those motor issues came out, he was stated to be the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people started watching more film on him, you're like, okay, he's playing well for this drive, and then the next drive is like he's dead, like he's not even on the game. Like he's disappeared, and then he'll have another outstanding drive, but then he'll disappear again. So team, like Vlad said, this man is gonna live or die off of the combine too. But also, what is those interviews that this man have? If this man interviews are terrible, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops into the 20s. If they're good, he's a lock for a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So I know you had 2 hours and 13 minutes. Noah. So you said Jones and Winfrey. You said who's the best out of those two?
Yeah.
I'm going with Jones.
Jones, easy.
All right. Trayvon Winfrey. Bye.
Like I said, you could even you can make an argument that Travis Jones could go with that first pick in the second round. Honestly, that dude's a monster.
We could explore that. We liking Salyer anymore?
No.
All
right, goodbye, Salyer. We're just saying, Matt Ryan don't need no protection. What are you talking about? Darian Kinnard.
I like Kennard.
To be honest, I say take Walker off with that one. I say keep
Walker?
Kenner. Yeah, take Walker.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
That's fine. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Even though
Walker
like
gone then.
even though Walker is a legit like linebacker, that would be a really actually would be kind of a steal there at that second round pick.
It would be.
Whew. Wandale, he was fun to think about for a split second.
Yeah.
Third. He'll be available in the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
All
take
right.
them off. Mm-hmm.
I might reintroduce him in next week's conversation then.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we're down to the final five.
Yeah, we're down to Pickens, Tariq Woolen, Kennard, Benito, and Travis Jones.
I'm just gonna
Now
let
remember,
you know.
we still have Majai Sanders and Christian Watson to think about over here too. So that means that hey, if we think about Pickens, then I don't really see us taking Watson then,
Oh yeah,
because taking two of the same position in the second round, unless if you're talking like edge rushers, that don't make no sense to me.
Okay.
I mean, I could be talked into it, but that just means that you're leaving all these other guys off the board too, and these could help us on defense like tremendously.
The thing I would say is, before I ask this, Josh said why no Jordan Davis, because Jordan Davis isn't going to be available in the second round. And also, Vlad, Jarvis, and Noah. Who would y'all rather have, Christian Watson or Pickens?
Pickens coming off that injury, he just don't look the same to me. I'm not saying that he's not talented, but I like Christian Watts.
Yeah.
I've kind of already showed my hand, but like my two favorite guys right now on the board are both at 11 and 13. If I'm being honest with you, I really like Travis Jones and Benito.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not like you're not. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Really, my
Was
two
Pickens
favorites
leaving?
would, yeah.
Out of the two, yeah, I'd say Pickens is gone.
And for me, my two favorites right now would probably be Travis Jones and Watson.
Okay.
Benito probably like a close second.
See, that's hard right there, Noah, because Woolen, excuse me. He's a good corner, man. He got size, and like I said, you can't teach size, and that'll be a good fit for Atlanta. But as we all keep stating right now, all three of us, all four of us, trenches is key right now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm honestly, if you look at the free agent market right now for wide receivers, this is another reason why I'm leaning more towards Jones and Benito. It's actually a pretty deep wide receiver free agency, so we could probably get a guy that normally would have got more money than in other years. So we could probably get a better talent for less money in free agency and kind of fill that wide receiver role.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of us maybe signing a wide receiver in the free agency that can be our wide receiver 1. We can probably bring back Russell Gage as a wide receiver 2, or maybe a slot guy. We might have to commit Cordero Patterson as a wide receiver again, and then we can take a later round slot guy that we would really like there too, and then focus on one of our 2 running backs.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm at.
That could be a built offense right there in front of us. But then with that route, you're kind of left with no trench help again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Vlad.
No, go ahead, dude.
This is where free agency pops in too, because if you do end up going that route, you're probably gonna have to sign a center or a tackle in free agency. Now, if you do end up signing a tackle, that means you let go of McGarry. But to be honest, we're probably going to end up signing Ben Jones, most likely. I think that's probably like a lock right now for free agent signings.
Yeah.
So Josh is asking Kennard or Jones. I think you guys are already going to say Travis Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. You can.
Yeah,
that's not even a question.
Kennard is gone, and that kind of negates us taking that. Trey, this is your position to think about. So are you going to leave Woolen off the board, or are we going to – I don't know where he fits.
Man, Woolen is like – he's to be honest, he has his versatility, but also the ceiling that this man has. I mean, just think of –
that's my problem, because he may not even be here.
Yeah. If this is 58 or maybe even 43, he still might not be there. And that's for Travis Jones and Christian Watson too. If they all work out well, at the combine because all of these dudes could rise from mid, early second round pick to
Yeah,
first round
But
locks.
then that could also mean that guys in the first round could slide down to us
they
too.
could.
Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
there you can't have like 50 first round prospects. That's not that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, he could if he could turn out to be one of those. Tariq could be the J.C. Jackson of the draft.
Yeah.
And missing out
It's a
on that would
possibility.
be so key. But then again, you also have to say if he does end up working out and becomes a lockdown corner, who are you choosing between AJ or him?
I think AJ.
See,
So
that's
then you're wasting the pick on him. Yeah. So for me, after thinking about that, I'd probably go to Reek taking him off.
You can take him off. Yeah, looking at that from that perspective. Yeah, I understand.
yeah. So that's where I'm at too. It's like we already have that lockdown corner where
You just need a serviceable corner for the second
see
one.
now,
Yeah.
but if you look at the four guys left now, right? Like we don't have anybody, like nobody at all really at edge, and really nobody at all at receiver, and we definitely don't have a nose tackle. So it's like all these guys are definitely in contention.
Now, what I will say though is who's the best D line? Who's the best D lineman out of all of these guys? Because in my
Uh,
opinion, right now, Marcus Sanders is the weakest one.
Yeah,
yeah, of course. Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, Modric. Yeah, like I said, looking at his tape is not as good as I would like it. He struggles with strength. He's when he rushes, he's a straight up and down rusher. His pad level is too high for me. That's me. Um, but I think he has some skills. I think he has something tangible that coaches can coach up and fix. But if you're gonna ask me between him and Travis Jones and Benito, he has to go.
So then that makes Christian Watson the automatic pick in the second round if he falls there. Man, so far it seems like most of our conversations that we've had so far is like these guys could be just a few picks in front of us, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
The same goes for Kyle Hamilton. Like he could be a few picks in front of us, and we just miss out on him.
This is
Christian Watson can work his way up out of this conversation. Same goes for.
It's kind of the nature of pre-draft anything. Like you're kind of just throwing stuff at a wall and hope it sticks. We won't actually know what happens until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, guys, we got to realize something. The Falcons are not gonna solve all of their problems in the draft. They have roughly 8 picks.
Or in this one off season too, either.
And this goes back to what Noah, Vlad was talking about earlier, and Trey. Thomas Dimitrov put us in a bad situation. If those draft picks would have been hitting, we possibly wouldn't be in the situation that we're in now. Who would have thought 5 years or 6 years after drafting Vic Beasley that he's out of the league, period now.
Yeah.
Or
after that 2016 season, especially.
Yes, or Tack McKinley. I hate bringing up his name, but Tack McKinley. If we would have
just
been
say 98.
Yeah, 98. Or if we would have hit on those guys, we wouldn't be talking about having to restructure a whole defensive line. I mean, an entire defensive line, period.
And one off season too.
And one off season.
Because the thing is, people don't understand. Arthur and God bless his soul, but Arthur ain't got long left, and people have to understand that. And he's gonna, no matter what, he's not going to go into a full-on rebuild right now, knowing that he's 86, he's hardworking, dude is busier than a lot of young people these days that are getting out of college and in college sometimes. So he's gonna try to win a Super Bowl. He's gonna do anything it takes. But
what's the name of that? What's the name of that thing? Falcoholic.
Yeah.
No, it was a sports. It was Atlanta Falcons Sports or what, I can't think of the damn thing. Where they said the Falcons can get $50 million in cap space this offseason by restructuring or extending. I said, well, that's probably right up off the Blank's alley. Because if he wants to win a Super Bowl, look at the Rams. The Rams won a Super Bowl with a $49 million dead cap. and I'm not saying that we need to be thinking about Madden and playing Madden and trading and doing all that stuff. But if you get desperate enough, desperate people do desperate things. What they call it for, and they will. They'll be like, you know what? Damn it! I know I know we got this debt. I know we're gonna be in debt real bad next year, but I want to see a championship. And who's to say Arthur Blank don't try to go all out? Hey Terry, you need to do this right here, do this right here. Well, sir, I don't feel like that's the best thing to do. I ain't actually what's the best thing to do. I'm the owner of the team. I need this to happen and this to happen.
I mean, with the Rams as a comparison, I think they had a better start because they went to the Super Bowl already.
And
so
because
they
they
already
went
knew that
playoffs
they
the
had a
year before.
roster, they had a coaching staff that was capable of taking them there.
Mhm.
And then they had all this money that was magically appearing in their bank accounts in order to make these just outlandish trades and whatnot. Like, you get Odell Beckham, you get Von Miller, you get
Mhm.
Jalen Ramsey.
Mhm.
It's like
Matthews,
I don't
Stafford.
Stafford especially. Like
Yeah.
you're getting all these guys that they're gonna take you there to the team to the final game. But if they didn't win now,
Oh yeah,
then
over.
they were gonna screw their franchise for the next 6 or 7 years.
Yes. Oh yeah, they would have been over with.
So. I mean, because then you think about it, like Whitworth might have retired, Von Miller might have been gone from the team, Aaron Donald's already thinking about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You got players
Odell
right now
Beckham's.
you got players right now that really don't have anything else to prove anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So what's their point in continuing trying to play?
And that's
To
without
try to run it
first-round
back,
picks
and
now.
and now your first pick,
Is in
if you're the Rams.
2024.
No. I'm talking about in this draft class. Your first pick is at 103.
Yep.
That's where they enter.
So
That's by far the
basically-
latest out of any team.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a 4th-round pick?
That is. That's a fourth
I
round
think it's
pick.
a comp. I think it's a late comp third.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
they basically have 2 off days.
So,
So let's say this, okay? Because we all know Cooper Kupp's about to be one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you can't re-sign Odell. Aaron Donald leaves because he won the Super Bowl, probably the greatest defensive player of all time.
Can't
Vaughn
forget
got
Robert Woods.
Oh yeah, Robert Woods too. Vaughn got his second, so ain't no need to prove nothing else. He got his sack records and all of that. Who else?
Andrew Whitworth might go.
Whitworth, yeah, he's already stated.
Eric Weddle's probably already gone too.
Yeah,
and he
Eric at
Weddle's
home on the
gone.
couch now.
Yeah, Eric Weddle already retired after like a couple of days after after the parade. He retired. He left. So let's say all of that, and you're still in dead cap, and you gotta re-sign Kupp. And I also think too, it's been talks that McVay might end up leaving because he's
For
trying to
TV.
start a family.
Yep.
And also, not to mention, by the way, your division is also getting better too.
Yep. But at this offseason, you got $49 million in dead cap.
So Rams, you've won, but at what cost?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, basically,
To be honest, you win another one. That'll be in about 20 years.
I think, I get it. Arthur Blank doesn't have a lot of time left, but I still think he's looking at this from a business standpoint. And
Yes.
you don't rush something you don't rush, to get a few bucks when you could have hundreds, for years.
Look at Home Depot.
Yep.
I mean, he said, to be honest, he's starting to set that up for his grandchildren now.
All right. Well, we're approaching
His
the
children.
2.5 hour mark. Let's finish this up. Majai, you said was already gone.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I can replace Travis Jones and Nick Manito over in this spot too. So let's say we wipe Majai off the board. Is Watson the automatic pick here?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would I would probably take Travis Jones over
Yeah,
Watson.
I wouldn't wait on Travis Jones. If he's there, I'm taking him.
So take him here.
Yeah,
That'd be early
I'd say.
second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then that would give you a defender like on all three levels. Because you have your nose, then you got your edge and Benito, and then you have your Hamilton on the back end.
And Terrell.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying from the draft.
Oh. So then bye Watson.
Oh, if you're gonna take Travis there, Watson gone.
It's hard.
So then we're gonna say Travis Jones and Nick Benito.
Yeah.
That's what I would
that'll
do.
give you your inside and outside presence
For years to come.
Ooh. Tony Wright, how we feeling?
Now, Wallace Smith said something earlier. Where is that comment? He said, "But what's wrong with having two good cornerbacks?" And Mike and K Styles explained this Monday. Back in 2016, we put most of our money in the secondary, and that was our main problem. We put $23 million into the secondary because we paid Robert Alford that 50, Trufant that 55, Ricardo that 45, and Keanu Neal was still in his rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
And
All of that took up a lot of money. We only put $18 million in the D-line, and they were doing better than the secondary.
And
so it was like, and then now let's say, and like I said earlier, now let's say we take a cornerback at 43, and he turns out to be a lockdown corner. And you're not going to be able to pay two. Like you're basically going to put $100 million or $150 million into one position for and maybe really when you only need one good lockdown corner.
Mm-hmm.
When you need other positions on the D line and the defense. And now you got to either choose between Terrell. Now you got to basically have another Foye and Dion situation where do I take Foye or do I take Dion? So where it's like, okay, do I take Stingley or Terrell or Ahmad and Terrell or Kyer and Terrell?
Yeah, best case scenario, you end up with like a first round comp pick when you let one of them walk.
Yeah.
So you're right back to where you were at when you could have just, and the way this draft is being structured so far is like I was saying, you're spreading your draft out amongst each layer of your defense so far. So
right. So
right now, all we need.
Do we have to feel? I mean, could we feel comfortable with staying here at 43 and then to get Travis Jones?
Yeah, because I don't really feel like anyone's going to take a nose tackle in the first 40 picks just because nose tackle isn't really as big as a need.
Unless it's maybe Jordan Davis.
Yeah, because you have guys like Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt. That'll probably be the first two taken off the board. And they're probably not going to be taken off till the late 20s anyway, so...
And I mean, if you look at Travis Jones, anyways, like I honestly believe that he would be a pretty good value at that first, second pick too. Because if you look at his pass rush grade, he had a higher pass rush grade than even Jordan Davis did, as far as pushing the pocket.
Yeah.
So now he's
a 3-down guy too.
Again, do we feel comfortable with him being there at 58 for us?
Yeah. Now. The thing is, all we're hoping for Benito to be, if we do end up taking a guy like Thibodeau, is just a star guy. Like, we just need you to get pressure. Let Thibodeau be the main guy.
He's a what they call it, a situational pass rusher.
Yeah. Because if I'm like, if we do end up taking two pass rushers, I'm praying one of those guys actually do become a bust, so we don't have to pay both. Now, I'm not saying like a bust to where this dude it has Steven Means type stats.
Oh God!
Please I'm saying like, okay, like I just need you to rush the passer and that's it. Like, be a depth piece for me. If we get Thibodeau, I need you to be the dude that's going to be my main pass rusher for about a good 10, 15 years.
He said Steven Means. Oh my God!
That's not a pass rusher. I don't care what his position is. That's not a pass rusher.
He ain't even a run stuffer.
No.
What is Steven mean?
Oh,
Because
statue.
me,
He better be unemployed.
yeah,
statue.
because Means has in 8 seasons of his career, he has 7.5 sacks. The
Here.
last time he got a sack with us was the 2020 Saints game.
Here, I'll tell you his position. He is a starting locker room guy.
Yeah,
He's the Falcons cheerleader.
yeah, he's the dude that jumps on your back when you get a sack or an interception or something. That's what you count on him for.
Yeah, 5 seconds after you made the play, because that's how slow he is.
Yeah. He'll
So
probably be trying to get up off the ground to go celebrate with you.
So again, are we feeling good about him being there at 58?
Yeah,
I
Or
think
do we have to
he'll be
move
there
up?
at 58.
to be honest, his range is really from 55 to 60. So it's a good chance he's there at 58.
All right.
Yeah.
So just to recap the roster breakdown, we've now increased our amount of defensive linemen to 7. We've increased our edge rushers to now 3 guys, and we have 4 safeties. Now this also includes like practice squad players.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, now we still have 2 linebackers under contract. We still have 4 wide receivers under contract, and 2 of them are practice squads. One of them is a huge question mark, and the other one we've barely seen anything out of him. We now have
12 plays out of him.
We've got 5 tight ends, and really that kind of means a 1.5, the other half including Parker Hess. We got 3 running backs, and that's a bit of a question mark of whether or not you want to consider Cordero Patterson a running back coding into next year.
Mm-hmm.
8 corners, but most of those guys aren't young. They're not really older than 25.
And we'll
Not
probably
a
only have about
single
4.
special team person, so we don't currently have our kicker, punter, or long snapper yet. And yeah, we have 11 offensive linemen, but maybe only 2 are worth a dang.
Yeah, you're about right on that one. One of them actually got snubbed out of a Pro Bowl, but we're not going to talk about that.
Hey, gentlemen, I enjoyed the time that I was on with you. I got to get up and get on this military job tomorrow, so y'all take care of yourselves.
I'm glad to have you on.
All right, no problem. Thank you again.
Take care.
Mm-hmm.
No problem, man.
Okay, well, I guess that concludes it.
2 good hours.
Okay,
Ooh,
so does this, because I'm going to try to think about the next week's conversation, does this negate any other future pass rushers that I'll add to the board, so that way we can start looking at the other positions? Or can I still add a name just to add a name? Because I don't know if I'm going to find 30 guys that are still going to fit the bill.
I don't really think we need to triple dip in edge rusher. Double dip, probably. I would be okay with that, but going Thibodeau, Benito, and Travis
we didn't
Jones,
take Thibodeau. We took
or
Hamilton,
Travis Jones, and Benito. We probably need to go offense immediately with that third round pick.
Yeah, I'm probably looking like a receiver.
Or running back.
Receiver, running back, tight ends, or maybe guard.
Yeah.
Tackle.
I'd say probably receiver or tackle is what I'd probably look at.
For me, it'd probably be a receiver or running back.
Well, those are going to be the positions that we're going to fill up on from next week's topic then. I'm going to recreate my board because I wanted this to be a little bit more fluid for what we were drafting. So, yeah, that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys sticking around for more than 2.5 hours.
No, it was fun, dude.
Well, I'm mostly talking about the 14 people that are still lurking around with us in the chat. So, shout out to you guys. Yeah, think about this next week. Maybe I can try to fit this in an hour earlier for me, and maybe start an hour early.
Because what time? Because I know you're in Cali. So what time do you start over there?
Well, when I started the stream, for me it was 8:00. So I could push that down to 7 o'clock for me. It's just everything else in the house is more out of my control than rather my own schedule. Because I can probably do an hour earlier if everyone else kind of agrees to that, which, knowing how random this could be, it's a bit iffy, but I'll probably make it work if it means that we can stick around for a little bit longer. But at the same time, I don't know if the third round is going to be as much of a conversational piece as these first 2 rounds have been.
Yeah, because the first 2 rounds were a little bit more vice versa. This third round basically just going to be offense, basically.
Yeah, so, well, we're going to get to that next week. So tune in for that. And
Try not to make that a 2.5 hour live stream because I know a lot of people got to wake up in the morning, work and everything.
I mean, again, there's always the replay, people.
I always got that too, but rather you guys come now. You know, we like the extra opinions on live.
Oh, of course. So, all right, guys. Take care.
All right, y'all.
See you next week.
Take care, dude. Take care, y'all.